A rubber match on a Thursday night from Bosse Field between the Evansville Otters and the Tri-City ValleyCats. It's Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Bosse Field in Evansville, Indiana. Griffin Epstein alongside Lucas Daunhauer and our excellent director, Austin Hernandez, for the series finale between the ValleyCats and the Otters. Glad you can join us on Flow Sports and also the Otters Digital Network. Lucas, two very different looking games on Tuesday and Wednesday in this series. It was all Otters on Tuesday. It was all ValleyCats on Wednesday, so we're going to find out, I guess, who's the better team tonight.
That's right. The Otters bats came to life in the first game of this series, put 8 runs across the board after just scoring 9 in 3 games up at Joliet over the weekend, and then last night just couldn't get anything going. 10 runners left on base. Got held to a shutout for the 3rd time this year, and it was a really good all-around performance by the ValleyCats yesterday, and they're looking to grab a nice series win on the road.
And the pitching struggled as well yesterday for the Otters. 8 runs allowed. That is the second most allowed by the Otters in any game this season. So I'll introduce you to the Tri-City starting 9 this evening. It is identical to yesterday. Hey, he's put up 8 runs, 11 hits on the board. Keep things the same if you're Pete Incaviglia. Jackson Hallmark leads off and plays third base for Tri-City. Cito Culver bats second, and DH's Trey Hare bats third and plays second base. Carson McCusker in the cleanup spot and playing right field. Zach Bierman batting fifth and playing first base. Aaron Alther batting sixth and playing center. Jacob Goldfarb catching. Pat Adams playing center field, batting eighth. And Paven Parks, the shortstop, rounds out the lineup for Tri-City. This is an explosive offense, and after a quiet day on Tuesday, they really proved it yesterday.
Yeah, no doubt, and they're led by Carson McCusker. The big man at the plate has such a big frame. He's batting .470 on the season, and here in this series against the Otters, he's 4 for 10 in the first 2 games. He has 2 RBIs and a home run to go along with that, and he's looking to stay hot at the plate here in this rubber match.
On the other side, the starting 9 today for the Evansville Otters, 14-8 on the season. The Otters 14-9 make it on the season for Evansville. Otters trying to win their 5th series of the year with a win today. Noah Myers, the left fielder, leads things off for the Otters. Ethan Skinner bats second and plays second base. Dakota Phillips bats third and plays first. Jeffrey Baez in the cleanup spot and playing right. Kona Quiggle bats fifth and plays center. Jomar Reyes bats sixth and plays third base. Bottom 3 in the lineup. Jacob Olson still batting 7th as yesterday, but DHing today. Jake Green is back in the lineup catching, and George Khalil rounds out the lineup per normal, playing shortstop for Evansville. Only one guy in, Jake Green in, and Brian Rosario out in the 9 today for the Otters. Austin Gossman will get the start for Evansville, the righty, while Garrison Bryan, a 6-year veteran of the Mets minor league system, will get the start for Tri-City. We'll tell you more about the pitching matchup, defensive alignment, and first pitch in just a moment. You're watching Evansville Otters baseball on Flow Sports and listening on the Evansville Otters Digital Network.
Pay tribute to those who made the ultimate sacrifice with the singing of our national anthem this evening, performed by Emily Hinkle. gentlemen, Italy Hinkle with our national anthem.
National anthem on a gorgeous Thursday night from Bosse Field here in the Pocket City. We're moments away from first pitch between the Otters and the ValleyCats. And on the mound today for Evansville, Austin Gossman. He pitched collegiately at University of Southern Indiana here in Evansville, and he's a third-year Otter. 5.06 ERA for Gossman in 4 outings, coming off giving up 4 earned runs in just 4 innings against Joliet in his last outing. We've seen some really good stuff from Gossman this year, and we've seen some times where he struggled on the mound.
Yeah, only able to go 4 innings in that last game against Joliet. Just looking to get a little bit more consistency out of him. He had a good season last year, 8-6 on the mound, 3.83 ERA with the Otters, and if he can just get a little bit more consistent, get back to his basics, his bread and butter, he's very effective pitcher on the mound.
2-1 overall, 21 innings and a third. He's got 16 strikeouts to just 9 walks, and just 1 quality start on the season. That was 7 innings of 1-run ball against Trois-Rivières. Around the diamond for the Otters today, Dakota Phillips is at first. Jake Green is catching. That's the 3rd time. The pitcher and battery is the same there with Gossman pitching and Green catching. Ethan Skinder is at second. George Khalil at short, and Omar Reyes at third. Noah Myers in left, Kona Quiggle in center, and Jeffrey Baez, after DHing yesterday, is out in right field for Evansville. Sunny skies today, very light haze, just on the kind of edge of the smoke drifting in from the Canadian wildfires. So not much haze. Sun is poking through strongly, but not a crystal clear blue sky tonight. Really pleasant temperatures. It is 77 degrees out, with temperatures dropping up into the upper 60s by the end of the ball game. Wind is pretty light, just 5 miles per hour. Not really doing a whole lot right now. The American flag out in center, nearly still on the flagpole. Jackson Hallmark leads things off for Tri-City, digs into the right-handed batter's box. Gossman staring into the sun, winds and fires a first pitch breaking ball in for a strike to Hallmark, and we're underway. Gossman looking into Green. On the far right side of the rubber, winds and throws inside to Hallmark. 1 ball and 1 strike. Otters in their home blues today, with Otters written in white script across the chest, white numerals on the back, white pants, blue socks, and blue cleats. Comes the 1-1. It's outside, 2-1. White hat with the blue E on the front and the blue brim. Tri-City in black uniforms today, with Tri-City written in red across the chest, red numerals, red piping, gray pants with black shoes and a black helmet. 2-1 is chopped foul by Hallmark, 2-2. Looking like another terrific crowd on this Thursday night here at Bosse Field, enjoying the great weather. We had a best Tuesday crowd of the year on Tuesday evening with 2,600 in attendance. And no doubt I think we're going to top that number tonight here at Bosse. 2-2, Hallmark sprays foul to stay alive. Even yesterday we had a great crowd for the early start, some summer camps in attendance, but we had a great number of seniors come out for Senior Connection Wednesday.
Yeah, really diverse age group. We had about the youngest fans we'll see all year and some of the oldest fans we'll see all year. It's great to see people of all ages enjoying historic Bosse Field.
Absolutely. It's summertime, too. It's time to get out to the ballpark. The 2-2 is sliced up the middle. Gossman ducking out of the way, and it's through into center for a base hit for Jackson Hallmark.
How about Jackson Hallmark? You got a handful of guys that people talk about in this lineup. So many statistics that are just really, really inflated early on in the season. But Jackson Hallmark also batting .340 about now after that base hit. Really good leadoff hitter, and he just sets the tone for this Tri-City lineup.
He had 3 hits and 2 RBIs and 2 runs yesterday. Off to a great start today at first, and he's a threat to steal as well, as Cito Culver takes a first pitch strike on the inside corner. Lefty batter Culver with Hallmark over at first. He had 2 stolen bases yesterday and has now 10 on the season. Just underway here in the top of the first, 1 on with nobody out. Culver in the left-handed batter's box swings and fouls one away, 0-2.
For the first time this evening, a red foul ball brought to you by That's construction. Choose the best.
Gossman's 5th start of the season, his 3rd here at home. He's been significantly better at home than on the road. This is his 1st start, though, at home since May 21st. His last 2 starts, which he struggled more on the road. At the belt for the 0-2, comes home, swinging and a miss by Cover on a breaking ball. 1 away. First strikeout of the day, first out of the day for Austin Gossman, 1 away. Brings up the second baseman, Trey Hare, with Hallmark still at first. Hare was 1 for 4 yesterday with a double in his 2nd start now of this series. Another lefty batter in this lefty-heavy lineup for the ValleyCats. 6 lefties again in the lineup today for Tri-Cities. Hare takes a strike on the outside corner.
And it really has been night and day for Austin Gossman at home and away, a guy who spent time with Vincennes and USI. He's allowed 8 runs in those 2 games on the road, but just 4 here at home.
1 is inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. And his best start, no doubt, of the season, his last time here at home, and that start against Trois-Rivières, going 7 innings, allowing just 4 hits and a run. Terrific and earning his last win. He's 2-1 now on the year. Comes the 1-1, it's outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. He had not been super happy with his last couple performances, and actually the day after his start at Joliet last weekend, I saw him, and he had started growing out a mustache. So comes the 2-1 to Hare. It's swung on and missed, 2-2. And so I went up and asked him to try a new look, and he said, yeah, it's working for Brian Rosario. He's growing a mustache this year, and he's stolen more bases than anyone in the Frontier League. I may as well give it a shot. Green calls time behind home plate. Gossman will reset behind the mound. Says, though, if things don't start going well, the next start or 2, then it's gone. He is not that strongly tied to the mustache. But if it works, who knows? It could be left on all season. 2-2 is chopped foul to stay alive.
So sounds like the facial hair is a lot more baseball related, not his aesthetic ideal look, huh?
Well, Jake Polancic was telling him he should have gone with the goatee first. That would have suited his personality better, but it's too late for that. He felt that was go goatee, and then, if you need to, then go mustache. That was the logical transition. Gossman hoping the stash will work today. Here's the 2-2 to Hare. Outside in a full count. Hallmark at first with 1 out here in the top of the 1st. No score. Comes the payoff from Gossman. Swung on and a dribbler to second. Skinder's there. Gloves it. Throws to first in time for the out, 2 away. Hallmark was going on the pitch. If he didn't, there might have been a chance at a double play, but he'll advance to second. Hare will ground out for the 2nd out, and it brings up Carson McCusker, righty batter, with 2 outs and a runner at second here in the top of the 1st. McCusker, as Lucas mentioned, just continuing to hit the living daylights out of the baseball as the top hitter in the Frontier League. He is 4 for 10 in this series, including his last at-bat, a solo blast yesterday. Cap off the 8-0 win for Tri-City as McCusker takes outside from Gossman, 1-0. Gossman peeks back at Hallmark at second. Black glove at the chest and comes home. Breaking ball outside, and he's fallen behind 2-0.
He's so impressive to watch because he rarely will chase a ball out of the zone. And if he does, he really gets a hold of it, in all honesty.
His on-base percentage is .511 right now as McCusker takes slow 3-0. In a sport where you're expected as a batter to succeed about 1/3 of the time, he's succeeding right now over half the time. Here's the 3-0 to McCusker. It's low for ball 4. That's probably not the worst result there if you're Gossman, facing the most dangerous hitter in the Frontier League. Didn't give him any anything good to look at, but an open base at first, and now will face his former teammate Zach Bierman with 2 out and 2 on.
Yeah, it was really just pounding the outer half of the zone and everything ending up off the plate. Not really looking to give Carson McCusker anything to hit there with the runner in scoring position.
Bierman, the lefty. These two were teammates last year. Bierman swings and misses at the first pitch from Gossman, 0-1. Bierman, in his return to Bosse Field after playing all of last year with Evansville, is 4 for 10 on the week with a 3-hit day on Tuesday. Gossman winds and throws. Bierman checks his swing on a pitch low. Green, a check down to the third base umpire, but he didn't go around. It's 1-1. Robert Davis behind home plate. Drew Taylor over at third and Mike Weinstein at first. Gossman peeks back at second and comes home, and Bierman just foul tips it off the end of the bat and into the dirt. 1-2, and Gossman's a strike away from a clean first inning.
He's taken a different approach, the opposite approach against Bierman, just pounding the inner half of the plate. Same side of the plate he was throwing to the righty McCusker, but just trying to jam the lefty Zach Bierman, who's been red hot here in his return.
Gossman steps off and calls time. Shadows are creeping across the infield. Gossman is staring into the sun and will for another 10 minutes or so. His upper body's in the sun, but in front of him is all shade. The 1-2 is well outside, 2-2. Gossman is a patient worker. He'll certainly flirt with the end of the pitch clock. Peeking back again at second. Winds and fires, swing and a miss by Bierman. A breaking ball fools Zach Bierman, and Gossman works around a hit and a walk and a first for a scoreless inning. Go to the bottom of the first. We'll meet the Evansville starting lineup on the other side. Scoreless between the Otters and the ValleyCats on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Stephen, our pitcher catcher battery for Tri-City. Garrison Bryan is on the mound. Jacob Goldfarb.
Welcome back to Bosse Field, a scoreless game between the Otters and the ValleyCats as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Garrison Bryan making the start today for the Tri-City ValleyCats. Interesting story. Experienced pitcher, 6 years within the Mets organization for Bryant, now in his really first full season of indie ball with the ValleyCats. 4 starts on the year, a 6.12 ERA, but it's a little bit inflated as he gave up 9 runs in his last start against Empire State. Certainly a pitcher, Lucas, with a lot of talent.
Yeah, coming off a little bit of a rocky start, but 4-pitch pitcher who's been really highly regarded throughout his career. He was drafted out of high school into the Mets organization, made it as high as AA ball, and he's looking to get back to his ways here at Bosse Field. Should be a fun watch. 36th round pick by the New York Mets back in 2016. 6 years the Mets organization, played with AA Binghamton last year, trying to bounce back after a last rocky start. Around the diamond, Jacob Goldfarb at catcher, Zach Bierman at first, Trey Hare at second, Pavin Parks at short, and Jackson Hallmark at third, Pat Adams in left, Aaron Alter in center, Carson McCusker in right. First pitch to Noah Myers is taken all the way for a strike. 0-1. Similar 9 on the diamond as yesterday for the ValleyCats. Here comes the 0-1 to Myers. Breaking ball outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Park shifting over from third to short today. Culver DHing, and Hallmark moving in from the outfield to third, with Alter stepping in at center.
Myers takes a strike, 1-2. Got an early Thursday train this evening here at Bosse Field. Comes the 1-2, swing and a miss by Myers. The breaking ball fooling the Otters. Leadoff batter, one away.
Yeah, and he's interesting because Brian will mix in both the slider and the curveball. There we see the curveball with a little more north-south movement, but it can be hard to pick the ball up out of his hands, and it looks like Myers struggling early on there.
Ball is still just starting in the sun and then quickly going into the shadow. That's going to change really any minute now as Ethan Skinder stands in, pops up the first pitch, and foul territory is Gold Farm and making the catch right in front of the Otters dugout. 2 away.
Batting third, the first baseman, number 7.
Rosario, or Skinder, excuse me, pops out on the very first pitch he sees, and there's quickly 2 away with nobody on it. Brings up Dakota Phillips. Lefty batter. Face Bryan. Fastball, changeup, slider, and curveball. That's the 4-pitch mix for Garrison Bryan. He winds and throws, and Phillips takes a first pitch strike on the inside corner. Fastball up to 93 for Bryan, but it's really that impressive mix of pitches that makes him effective. Just 15 strikeouts on the season, but did strike out Myers to start the game. The 0-1 is outside, 1-1. Otters have been shut out in 2 of their last 3 games played. And a bounce back offensively tonight. The 1-1 swung on and missed, 1-2. Was not a great week last week for the Otters bats. And after a good Tuesday where they played at 8, nothing was doing yesterday. 1-2 to Phillips. Bryan above the belt, comes home, breaking ball low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Evansville did get 7 hits yesterday, but they left 11 stranded, including 2 different innings with the bases loaded. 2-2 to Phillips, fastball outside, and a full count to Dakota. 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the first inning. We're scoreless between the ValleyCats and the Otters. Comes the payoff. It's a breaking ball missing high, and Phillips works the walk. Phillips worked 2 walks yesterday and has his first of the day this evening. 1 on and 2 out for Jeffrey Baez, the right fielder.
And Baez, quiet day at the plate yesterday, but remember, first game of this series had 2 triples and a home run, 5 RBI day there on Tuesday. He's looking to get back to that kind of action at the plate.
First pitch to Baez, swing and a miss, 0-1. That's very much Jeffrey Baez's game, though. It's boom or bust, both feels like at every at-bat at the plate, but also in games, too. He'll have one game where he'll light up the stat sheet and another where he goes quiet. 0-1 outside, 1-1. Bounces off the chest of Gold Farm, but well blocked, and Phillips stays put at first.
Yeah, certainly Baez, 7 home runs, 20 RBIs on the season. He's hit very, very well at times in the 4 or 5 hole, and other days just will go a little quiet, and the rest of the Otters lineup seems to follow suit with however Jeffrey Baez does.
1-1 is swung on and driven into left. Back is Adams looking up. See you later. Today is a Jeffrey Baez day. A 2-run blast over the left field wall, 450 feet, and the Otters take a 2-0 lead.
And there he is right on cue, 8th home run of the season, 2nd of the series, and hopefully that's good signs of things to come, and the rest of this Otters lineup can follow suit. That's what you're hoping for if you're Andy McCauley, but your veteran Jeffrey Baez has showed up in a lot of games, especially here at home in this season.
Breaking ball on the inner third, and Baez bashing that one well over the wall. Adams didn't even find it worth a run to the wall as Quiggle swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. So Evansville, after 3 straight games they had not scored first, scores first here tonight. Quiggle swings and lines one down the right field line, just foul to the right of the chalk over the first base back. Baez with his 8th home run of the season puts him in a 4-way tie atop the Frontier League standings for most home runs. Tied with Anthony Brocato of Washington, Peter Zimmerman of Gateway, and Josh Raywalt of New Jersey. McCusker hit his 7th yesterday here with Tri-City, so see if he can follow Baez. The 0-2's outside, 1-2. 2-0, the Otters have taken the lead on a 2-run Baez home run. A kick and a throw and a swing and a foul tip by Quiggle. Just got a piece of it and falls in front of home plate. How about this for Baez? He played 81 games all of last year and had 8 home runs. Here in his 20th game of the season, he has his 8th home run.
Yeah, and we've talked about guy that Andy McCauley traditionally expects a lot of power out of him, and it just wasn't necessarily there last year. But boy, has he shown it early in 2023.
2-2 to Quiggle. Swung on and popped up. Behind home plate is Goldfarb. Right in front of the ValleyCats dugout. Can't make the basket catch. Instead of reaching up to try to make the play, tried to make a basket catch, and it bounced off the front of his glove and onto the turf.
Yeah, one thing that was surprising to me there is that Goldfarb carried his helmet with him, as most catchers will, to be able to throw it out of the way of the path you're going to go in, but he kept it in his hands the whole time and maybe became a bit of a distraction.
2-2 outside, no full count to Quiggle, who's gotten a extra chance here at life in his first at-bat of the ballgame. Shadows have crept over the pitcher's mound now as the payoff to Quiggle, swung on and driven to right. Back is McCusker at the warning track, makes the catch. Quiggle close to back-to-back jacks with Baez for the 3rd time this season, but Jeffrey Baez puts the Otters in front. A 2-run blast over the left field wall gives the Otters a 2-0 lead through 1 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. To the top of the 2nd inning from Bosse Field, and Flow Sports, Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports, is presented by Working Distributors, Evansville. It's a beautiful night for baseball in the River City, and the Otters have a 2-0 lead. Let's move to the top of the 2nd inning. Aaron Alther starts things off for Tri-City. Ready batter to face Austin Gossman, who has some early run support. Arthur takes a strike at the knees. 2-run home run by Jeffrey Baez in the first, putting the Otters in front. The 8th home run of the year for Baez puts him atop the Frontier League home run charts with 3 other friends as Arthur swings and misses 0-2. Gossman winds and throws. Breaking ball just missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gossman flutters the glove and comes home. Arthur swings, pops it up right side and out of play.
An overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Back half of the infield still in sunshine, as is the outfield. First and third base, as well as the pitcher's mound, all in shadow. 1-2 from Gossman, swung on and softly hit to Reyes at third. Behind the bag, he gloves it, throws to first in time for the out. Good stretch over at first by Phillips, 1 away.
One thing Gossman will be looking to do today will be limiting those walks. It's been an issue for Otters pitching this series. 15 walks by Otters pitchers as a whole staff in those 2 games, and 1 in the first inning from Gossman, but I say that was a bit more strategic than the control issues we've seen the last couple days.
Worked his way around McCusker, the hottest hitter in the Frontier League, as Jacob Goldfarb takes the first pitch inside. Lefty batter for the ValleyCats with 1 out and nobody on. Otters walked 8 batters yesterday. Here's the 1-0. Inside 2-0. The 11 hits, 2 for Tri-City yesterday, were the most hits that Evansville had allowed in any game this season. 2-0 from Gossman is outside now, 3-0 to Goldfarb. Excellent crowd is really filled in on this Thursday night at Bosse. 3-0 is low for ball 4. You've gotten a lot of announcers' jinxes this week, Lucas. You're doing a good job.
10, Pat Adams.
1 out walk for Goldfarb puts him at first and brings up the left fielder Pat Adams with 1 out and 1 on. Adams had his first hit as a ValleyCat yesterday. First pitch to the lefty, swung on and missed. Back to the breaking ball for Gossman, 0-1.
You got to wonder if the command struggles for Otters pitchers have to do with how hot this Tri-City team came in hitting. They're batting .279 as a team coming into the game today.
1 swing and a miss, 0-2. Tri-City only behind Gateway and a lot of offensive stats in the Frontier League. Want to avoid them barreling up balls. Walks are better than a home run, that's for certain. Gossman winds and throws. Swing and a miss by Adams. 1, 2, 3. Adams down on 3 pitches. Third strikeout for Gossman, 2 away here in the second. Brings in Paven Parks, the shortstop, number 9 batter for the ValleyCats, another lefty batter. With 2 outs and Goldfarb still at first. First pitch home to Parks is at the knees, 0-1. He pitched on Tuesday after starting at third base, and he's again listed as a potential pitcher today if the ValleyCats need an arm in the latter half of the game. Two-way player, the 0-1 inside, 1-1. This is the series finale of 3, a rubber match. The ValleyCats trying to win their 4th straight series. What an impressive run that would be. Gossman winds and throws inside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, and it sure would help them get a little bit of a leg up there in the East where everything's just so balanced out, a lot of parity. They're 12-11, the ValleyCats sitting at third in their division, looking to get one more game before leaving Evansville here.
Game back of Sussex County. Park swings, drives one down the left field line, hooking foul, and bouncing into the Tri-City bullpen. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Parks with 2 outs and 1 on. 2-0 lead for the Honors in the top of the second. Parks takes off his helmet. Reset the batting gloves. He's used no shortage of hair gel today, that's for sure. His hair is well slicked back under his black helmet. That would be tough to fit in his luggage.
Got to make sure it's not too big of a thing of liquid if they were flying, but luckily he's driving.
2-2 outside, 3-2. Even then, the suitcase at the bottom of the bus, and you're going through the rolling hills of Pennsylvania, and it's bouncing around.
Well, who knows? Maybe he just threw some pine tar in there or something.
I think a player does that. They realize they forgot to style their hair, and oh, well, we got pine tar at the ballpark. 3-2, swung on and driven into center. Back is Quiggle at the warning track, makes the catch. And softly puts his hands up as he slides into the tailor-made sign in left center. Long run for Quiggle, but the third out of the inning. 2-0 Otters lead. Move to the bottom of the second on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
To the Ashley Furniture Best Seats in the House, our lucky winner will get to spend the rest of the game with the best seats in the house. I say congratulations to Brent Davis. Brent Davis is our winner of the Ashley Furniture Home Store Best Seats in the House. Brent Davis, come on down and sit in the best seats in the house and enjoy the view with your feet kicked up for the rest of the game. And the best seats in the house also means that you have the best view of the Heritage AutoVision video board. Follow along with all the AutoVision video board action tonight. And be sure to visit heritagefederal.org for all of your banking needs. We have a big crowd here on Budweiser Thirsty Thursday. I'm saying hello to our friends from Marquee Distributors. They're here. Ameriprise, On Point, Guiding Wealth. They're in left field in sections 1 and 2 as well. Great to have you with us. Ameriprise, On Point, Guiding Wealth. Green River Kiwanis is in section 18. Make some noise. Green River Kiwanis. Doc Martin's group on the Corona Extra Patio Deck Index 1 and 2, and RGN Index 6 and 7 in the Corona Extra Patio Deck. Great to have you with us here at Bosse Field, and 3 more home games on this homestand starting tomorrow.
Two-0 lead for the Evansville Otters over the Tri-City ValleyCats. After 1.5, Otters up to bat here in the bottom of the second. The decider of this 3-game series, Otters took first game, comfortable fashion, 8-4. Tri-City dominated yesterday, winning 8-0. We'll see who wins the series today, and we'll have a second time facing off in July in Albany. Jomar Reyes first up, swings at the first pitch and drives it off the side of the mound and into center field, a base hit.
One thing that's so impressive by Reyes is his ability to hit low pitches. I mean, he really can get his hands down and extend it out, and he'll hit pitches even lower than the zone sometimes, pitches that a lot of guys will struggle with, or they'll pound right into the dirt or pop up. But Jomar Reyes puts a really level swing on them and often able to drive them right back up the middle.
Good frame at 6'4", aboard at first. Jacob Olson is the batter, takes outside, back throw to Reyes. He didn't slide in, just stepped on the bag. And barely back in time. Goldfarb tried to catch him sleeping over at first base. Reyes takes just a 2-stride lead there with the first baseman Bierman holding him on the bag. Comes the 0-1 to Olson. Swung on and chopped foul, 0-2. 2-run home run by Baez in the first, putting the Otters up 2-0. Comes the 0-2 to Olsen. Breaking ball outside. Check swing, but Olsen held up.
Here at the ballpark tonight. Hello to Evan.
Otters, after being shut out yesterday, already 2 runs in the first. Bryant steps off on the mound trying to reset things. Come off a really poor start, your worst start of the season. You want things to start out on a good foot in your next start, as Bryant misses outside 2-2, but unfortunately for the righty from Clearwater, Florida, that's not the case today.
And it looked like he was so close to just a 3-up, 3-down inning. Ends up letting the count against Phillips get away from him, draws a walk, and then Baez follows it up with a home run.
Wind and a throw, swing and a miss by Olsen. Curveball way down in the dirt for the first out of the inning, and the second strikeout for Bryant.
Batting eighth and catching number 10, Jake Green.
One away for Jake Green, the catcher. Ray is still at first. Green quietly leading the Otters in batting average. He swings and misses at the first pitch 0-1. Now he doesn't qualify as a batter with 2/3 of the plate appearances for the Otters this season, but overall hitting .375 in 8 starts and 9 hits. For the time he's been given, he's hit very well. 0-1 is high, 1 ball and 1 strike to Jake Green, the native of Saxby, Texas, outside of Dallas.
And a low sample size, but not talked about a lot. He's done his job when he's had the opportunity, just certainly making the most out of those opportunities. He's a really gritty catcher that'll throw his body in front of any kind of ball. And batting .375, he's 9 for 24 in the year, so I mean he's been productive at the plate.
Very soft-spoken, mellow guy, and you sit next to him. And, oh my goodness, you're jacked. The 1-1 by Green is swung on and popped up high in the air to left field. Back is Parks, and he makes the catch a few steps outside of the infield dirt for the second out of the inning.
Batting ninth, the shortstop, number 6, George Khalil.
2 outs, it brings up George Khalil, the shortstop. Reyes still at first. Khalil had one of the better days yesterday for the Otters. He was 2 for 4 with a double out of the 9-hole.
It was quiet the day before, coming off about a week's rest with an injury, but he came back to life yesterday here in Bosse Field.
Ryan takes a deep breath, comes home. First pitch strike on the inside corner. Khalil hitting .196 on the year with 2 of his 10 hits all season coming just yesterday. Half of his hits have been extra base hits, 4 doubles and a home run. But would like to hit a little more for average. The 0-1 outside, 1-1. Nonetheless, his defense was what the Otters really missed last week. Kelvin Melion struggled defensively over at short in his 1 week with the team, and Troy Viola tried to shift over the last couple games as Khalil swings and misses 1 and 2, and just didn't look super comfortable over at short as a guy who's played third base for most of his career. Khalil has just been a calming presence back on the middle infield for Evansville this week. The 1-2, check swing on a ball low, check over to first. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Khalil couldn't hold up. And that's out number 3, the 3rd strikeout of the day for Brian. 2 complete, 2-0 Evansville on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
the order to you for Tri-City.
To complete on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports, with Evansville leading 2-0 here at Bosse Field. Austin Gossman returning to the bump for the Otters. He's been very comfortable at home so far this season. And so far, so good through 2 innings against the ValleyCats. They'll face the top of the order here in Jackson Hallmark, the third baseman, second time around in the lineup as Hallmark takes outside for a ball. His first time around, he walked 2, allowed just 1 hit. It was to Hallmark and struck out 3. Gossman on the right side of the rubber. Winds and throws. Hallmark swings. A chopper right back to Gossman. Gloves it. Runs over to first. Underhand toss to Phillips. 1 away.
Designated hitter 6, Cito Culver.
Brings up Cito Culver, the DH, with 1 away. Lefty batter. I think there's a couple reasons you could point out why Gossman is so good at home and maybe has had a few more issues on the road. It's Culver, the lefty batter, struck out the first time. First pitch is swung on and fouled off his foot. 0-1. Gossman, as you mentioned, Lucas, spent a fair amount of time while he's from up in Avon near Indianapolis. Spent 3 seasons here in Evansville with USI, and his first 3 years of college at Fitzsimmons University, JUCO, about 30 minutes north. So 6 years of his college career in the southwest Indiana area. 0-1, beautiful breaking ball right at the knees for a strike, 0-2. He also, unlike most of the players now, lives in Evansville.
Yes, certainly made the place his home. I know he got to play at Bosse Field a time or 2 in college and just grown very fond of the ballpark.
0-2, swing and a miss by Culver. He took a meaty hack and another breaking ball, 2 away. Brings up Trey Hare, the second baseman, with 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the third. The last point on Gossman, as many pitchers are, rhythm and routine is very important. And that's something that Gossman stresses or emphasizes in his routines before a game, to follow the same routine. And that leads to success on the diamond for him as Trey Hare takes a first pitch strike. And obviously the routine can say identical at home. And on the road, there's always going to be a few things that are a little bit different. Comes the 0-1. It's look out inside, 1-1.
Yeah, that's a big thing for players, as pitchers especially in indie ball, college ball, is just being able to adapt to some less than ideal travel and accommodation situations and finding a way to get things done on the road as well.
38th start today with the Otters as the 1-1 just misses inside, 2-1 to Hare. Top of the third, 2 outs and nobody on. 2-0 lead for the Otters. Gossman winds and throws. Hare swings and misses, 2-2. Do you have any routines for you, Lucas, before you're heading on the pitch as a goalkeeper you have to follow?
I do have a decent amount. I'm very particular about when I eat before games.
2-2. Hare chops it foul off his body. Stay alive here in the third.
I like to spend a decent amount of time by myself before the game, and then I have a bit of a prayer routine in the locker room, and I'll go out to the field by myself and walk around for a little bit. I don't really like to talk to people a whole lot before games.
There's no, though, set thing some number of times or at this certain time that you do? It's a little more flexible?
It's usually adjusts from season to season. Just
2-2 inside, strike 3 call. Gossman freezes Hare, and it's all going well for Austin Gossman back at his home at Bosse Field. 3 shutout of the ValleyCats. 2-0 lead for the Otters over Tri-City on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Otters are back tomorrow, the first of 3 against the Schaumburg Boomers for 9 innings of giving. We're giving away prizes all night long, including 2024 season tickets. a Blackstone griddle, and a PlayStation 5. Saturday is Superhero Night, presented by Old National Bank. And Sunday is River City Pride Night, the dog days of summer. Tickets still available at EvansvilleOtters.com or by calling 812-435-8686. Top labor to you for the Evansville Otters. The Edward Jones leading out of the game. The left fielder, number 9, Noah Myers.
Bottom of the third inning from E-Town, a 2-0 lead for the Otters over the ValleyCats. Noah Myers, top of the lineup for the Otters, leading things off in the bottom of the third inning. Myers takes the first pitch high for a ball, 1-0. Garrison Bryant went through the Otters lineup once as the 1-0 by Myers swung on, driven to the right field line. If it stays fair, it does. Yes, it does. It's fair, it's gone. Noah Myers, a blast right down the right field line. 3-0 Evansville. Fourth home run of the season for the Canadian.
Yeah, and he gets a pitch up a little bit out of the zone, probably almost around his letters, and just turns on it on the inner half of the plate. That ball, we weren't sure if it was going to stay fair, but it just curves around that pole and probably ends up somewhere down by the train tracks. What a shot by Noah Myers.
Look out on Heidelbach Street out there as Ethan Skinder takes the first pitch, strike at the knees, 0-1. I saw the ball sailing right of the pole, but I think it was after it passed the pole. First base umpire Mike Weinstein, it was all up to him, as Skinder takes a strike at the knees, 0-2. I don't know if umpires take eye tests on that or practice seeing where that is one of the hardest things they have to do. Is it left or right of the pole? A ball, especially right now with the sun casting a glare. Challenging call. 0-2 to Skinder, swing and a miss, 1-away.
Yeah, and we've mentioned a couple times this year, there's no screen or cage hanging off the inner half of the foul pole here at Bosse Field, and that's either the second or third home run hit here, whether it be to right field or left field. It would have probably hit that and made it an easier call, but we're often just left waiting to see what the first or third base ump opts to make the call when we're up here in the box.
Dakota Phillips, the batter, with 1 out and nobody on. First pitch to Phillips, swing and a miss, 0-1. Yeah, if there is a doink this season at Bosse Field, it's going to be the most impressive doink because it's just one long pole to try to hit. I'm not sure why there's not been a screen added to the foul pole. 0-1 slips out of the hand of Brian and sails over everyone's head to the backstop. 1 ball and 1 strike. I'll have to ask around and see if there's any reasoning, or maybe that's from filming League of Their Own back in the 90s here. Comes the 1-1. Outside 2-1 to Phillips. That would be my guess, is in so many parts of this ballpark have been preserved from the way it was remodeled in the 90s for the filming of League of Their Own here to keep it a very retro feel. I imagine there was not screens on foul poles back in the 1950s when League of Their Own takes place, as Phillips swings and misses 2-2. Three 0 lead for the Otters. 2-run home run by Baez, solo by Myers. Phillips pops one up left side out of play.
Yeah, we've been talking decent amount recently, you and I, about the movie, and I know I've seen it a handful of times growing up, but here getting to call games this year, I watched it a couple games into the season. It just gave me that much more of an appreciation for the ballpark that we get to come work at every day, and I know the players really appreciate its beauty as well.
2-2 to Phillips, swing and a miss, 2 away. Back-to-back strikeouts for Bryan after giving up the solo home run. He is up to 5 strikeouts on the day. Baez now for a second time with 2 outs and nobody on. Yeah, we actually watched the movie A League of Their Own on the bus ride back from Joliet on Sunday evening. Threw it in on the multiple screens we have on our bus as Baez chops one third base side, stays fair, throw across the diamond by Hallmark, skips under the glove of Bierman and rolls all the way into foul territory. Baez not stopping at second, he's going to third. The throw is a good one. He is safe though under it. A wild throw by Hallmark, who probably had a little bit more time behind the third base bag, chucked one across the diamond. Bierman couldn't scoop it off the dirt, and with the expansive foul territory here at Bosse, it took forever for the ValleyCats to retreat it, and Baez, who loves to run, raced all the way into third and still has his hands on his hips and his exhaustion over at third base.
Yeah, and Carson McCusker actually never backed that play up at first base. I know it's a tedious thing to do, especially in a large ballpark such as this, but that's what makes it that much more important. And I think Baez recognized that McCusker was not there backing it up when he reached first base, and then he never even put his head up to check, and he head down was running to third that whole way. Really good awareness by the Otters right fielder.
Some discussions among Tri-City infielders moving around a little bit. Just trying to settle down after the air. Kona Quiggle is the batter with 2 outs, and Baez now at second. Baez was way off the bag. Almost looked like he was trying to steal home, and at the last moment, Bryan saw him and stepped off the mound. If Jeffrey Baez had stole home, I think this the roof would have come down. Baez with a big lead over at third. He's not being held on the bag as Quiggle steps off 1 and out.
Yeah, Hallmark is shaded way over towards shortstop with the left-handed Quiggle up to bat, and Baez was just about halfway to home whenever Bryant stepped off there.
Comes the 0-1 to Quiggle. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. If a 260-pound man steals home, that's on SportsCenter Top 10.
You'd have to think so.
Baez still way down the line at third as the 1-1 swung on and missed by Quiggle. He tried to send that ball all the way to Kentucky. Three 3-0 lead here for the Otters in the bottom of the third. 2 outs, a runner at third, 1-2 count. Bryan at the chest, winds and throws, swung on and grounded. Right side, gloved by the second baseman, 1 hop and scooped off the dirt by Bierman at first. Good play by Trey Hare, ranging over to his left, making the throw, and Bierman doesn't miss the ball off the dirt that time, scooping it off the brown, and the third out of the inning. The Otters, though, add 1 more. A solo blast down the right field line by Noah Myers gives Evansville a 3-0 lead as we go to the 4th on the Otters Digital Network. We've completed 3 here at Bosse Field, a 3-0 lead for the Otters over the ValleyCats. Austin Gossman on the mound. First pitch swung on by Carson McCusker, grounded to Reyes, long throw across the diamond in time. I'm not sure I agree with the call by Mike Weinstein over at first. It looked like by the naked eye that McCusker beat it down the line. But what a throw by Reyes. The ball kind of got stuck in his glove for a second after he fielded it one hop off the dirt and into his glove. Took him a moment, and he made a laser of a throw across the diamond. It gets the first out of the inning.
Yeah, it was such a hard hit ball by McCusker. Reyes just kind of turned his body at the last second to knock it down and made that a bang-bang play.
Zach Bierman, the batter, takes a first pitch inside from Gossman, 1-0. Full field now in shadow with the sun reflecting off the Crawford Door building out in center field. Blue but slightly hazy sky this evening. The 1-0 inside to Bierman, 2-0. As I mentioned yesterday, anyone out on the East Coast or being affected by the wildfire smoke, stay safe and hoping for that it is cleared up as soon as possible. A 2-0 catches the top of the zone for a strike, 2-1. For the most part, not anything hazardous here in Indiana over the last few days, though enough to be minimally unhealthy. Comes the 3-1 to Bierman. Swing and a miss. And a full count. Absolutely some wild pictures, though, out of New York City yesterday.
Yeah, some really strange, almost apocalyptic type images.
Yeah. 3-2 is swung on. A line drive bounces off the glove of Phillips at first and into right.
Center fielder, 22.
Maybe the former Otters teammates will have a laugh at it over at first. Well, Phillips isn't even looking at Bierman right now. Maybe not. No, they're not talking to each other over at first base. I was curious.
He gives him a little pat.
Line drive right off the top of the glove of Phillips. Just couldn't snare it. Bierman with the base hit. And Alter, German center fielder to the plate with 1 on and 1 out. Just the second hit for Tri-City as Alter takes a breaking ball for a strike. Comes the 0-1. It's inside. 1 ball and 1 strike in front of an excellent crowd on this Thursday night here at Bosse Field. This is going to be one of the best crowds of the season. And we're told it's going to be a great weekend as Alter swings and misses 1 and 2. And if you haven't planned to come to Bosse Field this weekend, I mean, this is the weekend. It's going to be a great series against Schaumburg. Important series in the Frontier League West standings. Great promotions, big crowds. The party at Southwest Indiana is right here at Bosse. There's no doubt about it. 1-2, swung on and driven into center. Back is Quiggle at the edge of the warning track, makes the catch. Alter put a charge into 1. But Quiggle is there, 2 away.
The catcher, 23.
Jacob Goldfarb, the catcher, to the plate with 2 outs, and Bierman still at first. Was happy to see on the East Coast all games have been played today. After some postponements yesterday, Jacob Goldfarb swings and pops up the first pitch down the right field line. Baez watching it go foul. That ball is well out of the yard onto Heidelbach Street, but well fouled.
And you mentioned Schaumburg coming to town, a team who's battling at the top of the West with the Otters, just a half game back going into today. They lead the Florence Yalls 2-0 right now in the 4th inning.
They have not had a good week, though. They lost the first 2 games to a hot Florence team as Goldfarb fouls one back 0-2. Florence is really, I look at the standings this morning, Florence is the team that's kind of crept up on everyone. We haven't talked about them all year. They really struggled last year. They're tied right now for second place in the Frontier League West with Evansville, kind of out of nowhere for the Elks.
Yeah, it really went under the radar. No one was talking about them. And then you check the standings today, and they're right there, tied, 14-9 record with the Otters.
7-3 in their last 10 as Goldfarb fouls one away, 0-2. They were just kind of hanging around 500, and they've gotten hot of late to suddenly kind of separate themselves into right now the top 4 in the Frontier League West, and Schaumburg, Evansville, Florence, and Gateway in the bottom 4, well behind. Gossman kicks and throws. Goldfarb swings, grounds one down the first base side. Phillips gloves it and steps on the bag. What a nice play by Dakota Phillips. The ball was right over the first base bag. He kind of tripped, but was able to hold on to the baseball. And Jacob Goldfarb can't believe it. He says it was foul for certain. Pete Incaviglia is out to argue with first base umpire Mike Weinstein. It was close. Looked to me that Phillips did glove it, though, right over the bat.
Yeah, I think their argument is he was basically sitting on the bag when he made that play, and I think in their eyes he might have reached over into foul territory and pulled it back in. It could have been a bit deceiving just how his body was positioned, but a really good play nonetheless.
Pete Incaviglia not pleased. But it's the third out of the inning. Gossman has worked 4 shutout, 3-0 lead for the Otters. Go to the bottom of the 4th on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Right here in the Hoosier state of Indiana. Paramount Dental has been ensuring smiles for more than 37 years. Keep smiling with Paramount Dental. Look at all those smiles that we have on Otter Vision. Those in the top row. Now that all the light here at the ballpark. Great to have you with us on a beautiful, picture-perfect evening in the Midwest. Couldn't ask for better weather here tonight. That's why we're smiling for Paramount Dental. And be sure to check out Frontier League and your Evansville Otters on Flow Sports, the official streaming partner of the Frontier League. Never miss a game and follow along all the way to the championship. Just visit EvansvilleOtters.com for links to watch and subscribe for all Frontier League and Flow Sports content. The third baseman, number 28, Yomar Reyes.
Back at Bosse Field for the bottom of the 4th inning, where Yomar Reyes swings at the very first pitch of his at-bat for the second straight time to start the game. Unfortunately for him, base hit back in the second. A routine 5-3 ground out to start the bottom of the 4th. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Garrison Bryant, and now it's Jacob Olson swinging at the first pitch. A soft chopper to third, charging as the third baseman Hallmark and throwing to first in time for the out. Hallmark was shot out of a cannon, charging onto the grass and cutting in front of the shortstop Parks to make the play.
Yeah, 2 difficult plays there by Hallmark, and he made them look a lot easier than they were. The first one bouncing almost over his head, and he sets his feet and makes the throw to get Reyes, and then charging across the diamond to make a really tough play against Olson, and he beats him by a handful of steps on a play that you thought was going to be really close off the bat.
First pitch to Jake Green is outside 1-0. 2 pitches, 2 outs to start the inning for Garrison Bryant. Otters with 2 home runs to take a 3-0 lead. 2-run blast by Bias, solo home run by Myers. Those are 2 of their 3 hits on the day. The 1-0 is a strike down the middle, 1-1. Sun is just a few rays now, and the lights are on and will be into effect soon as we march towards 7:40 here in Evansville. The 1-1 is a breaking ball for called strike 2, 1-2. Brian working on the right side of the rubber. This will be his 54th pitch of the game. Sets and comes home. Green chops one up the middle. To the left is the second baseman. Hare Gloves throws to first in time for the third out of the inning. It takes just 6 pitches in the fourth for the Otters to go down in order to the top of the 5th inning. 3-0 Evansville on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Here they are for you, ladies and gentlemen, your Southwest Graphics Evansville Otters. Ladies and gentlemen, your Southwest Graphics Evansville Otters.
Have you seen Evan the Otter around lately? Make sure you tell him hello when you do. Evan's excited to see all of our fans and encourages you to visit Heritage for all your banking needs. Heritage, proud partner of Evansville Otters baseball. It is a Budweiser Thirsty Thursday. Do not forget to take advantage of those specials on domestics this evening. Every Thursday, home game is a Thirsty Thursday. Schedule at EvansvilleOtters.com.
Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is brought to you by Budweiser. 3-0 lead for Evansville over Tri-City. Moved to the top of the 5th from the Pocket City. The Otters leading, going for the series win today in the decider of this 3-game set. Pat Adams takes a first pitch inside from Austin Gossman to start the top of the 5th inning. Adams struck out his first time today. Gossman has struck out 5 ValleyCats batters. The 1-0 missing outside, 2-0. Next pitch for Gossman will be his 70th. He's allowed just 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks, no runs. Comes the 2-0. Fouled away, 2-1.
Yeah, he hasn't gone super deep in the games. He usually works with quite a few pitches in each at-bat. His longest outing was against Trois-Rivières with 7 innings, but other than that, 5 innings against Ottawa, 5 1/3 against Quebec, and just 4 in his most recent outing.
Comes the 2-1. Inside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Caillou led the Otters in starts, innings pitched, wins, strikeouts last year. Back for a 3rd year, and he's looked awfully comfortable tonight. The 3-1, swing and a miss, and a full count. Sets at the belt, winds and throws, swing and a miss. No, Adams just got a piece of it. Very edge of the bat for Pat Adams to stay alive. We've got a smell of some delicious food wafting up into the press box. It's making me very hungry, but it smells fantastic. I smell pepper, maybe.
I've been wondering what it was.
A spice, maybe some nachos. Payoff, swung on, and a 1-hopper to Skinder back in the edge of the grass. Throws to first in time for the out. Took Skinder back right on the edge of the right field grass, played it off 1 hop for a 4-3 first out of the 5th. Brings up Paven Parks, the shortstop, with 1 out and nobody on here in the top of the 5th inning. If Gossman can get Parks, he will have worked through the Tri-City lineup twice and limited them to just 2 hits after They exploded yesterday for 11 hits and 8 runs. Gausman winds and throws. Parks swings and misses 0-1.
And they hit the ball very well in that first game, but they left 11 runners on base in that 8-4 loss. Just weren't able to be very efficient in how they stringed those hits together and drove the runs in. But the bats have been very hot.
0-1 is inside. Parks dashes out of the way. 1-1.
Austin Gausman has just been pounding the inner half of the plate and a little bit off the plate to left-handed hitters. There's a good 5 of them in the lineup, switch hitter as well, so that's 6 tonight for Tri-City, and he is working the inner half of the plate to all of those left-handed batters so far.
It's the second straight night Tri-City's put 6 lefties in their lineup. The 1-1 is again inside and misses 2-1. No doubt, though, Gausman was watching yesterday as Zach Smith didn't have his best stuff against all these Tri-City lefties. 2-1 outside, 3-1. Can imagine he picked up some pointers. Gausman, certainly one of the most astute guys in the Otters rotation and in the Otters clubhouse as a whole. The 3-1, Parks swings and grounds one to Skinder at second. He gloves it on the edge of the dirt, throws to first in time for the second out of the inning. Back-to-back 4-3 groundouts to start the 5th. That's 2 times now through the lineup for Gausman. So it rolls over to the top of the order, and Jackson Hallmark, the third baseman. Goss at now 81 pitches and out away from 5 completes. Hallmark is 1 for 2 today, a base hit back in the first. Gausman winds and throws outside, 1-0. Tri-City will finish their road trip this weekend. 2.5 hours to the west of here at Gateway. The 1-0 is chopped third base side, bounces off the glove of Reyes, rolling around at his feet, picks it up, no play at first as Hallmark already crosses the bag safely. It's a base hit for Jackson Hallmark off the glove of Reyes over at third.
Second really hard hit ground ball we've seen at Reyes, where he kind of just will get behind it and then turn his body a little bit and just try to knock it down. And this one he's able to knock down, but he'll squib past him a little bit more than that previous one he had off the bat of McCusker, and no play he's able to make this time.
Cito Culver, the DH, to the plate with 1 on and 2 outs. Culver 2 strikeouts today. Hallmark 3-stride lead at first. First pitch to Culver is hammered down the right field line and a fair ball. It will roll all the way to the wall. Hallmark is on his horse. He's racing home and all of a sudden puts on the brakes at the last moment as a great relay in had Gray at the plate. Hallmark was halfway home and all of a sudden scampered back to third. He's got some speed though. My goodness, Jackson Hallmark looked like he was running the 400-meter dash out here.
Yeah, he was hauling on his way from first base, but I think him and third base coach Thomas Incaviglia just weren't necessarily on the same page there. He turned the base as if he was going to go home and halts him there, but what an athletic play by Jake Green at the plate, too. About did the splits to catch the ball and set himself up in a position to make a potential tag. That was impressive.
Good relay right by McCusker, and right by Baez to Skinder, and they were going to have Hallmark out if he didn't return back to second. So it's runners at second and third now after the double. Trey Hare, the batter, swings at the first pitch and fouls it off. Double by Culver, back-to-back hits for Tri-City with Hallmark at third, Culver at second. Hare 0 for 2 today. Tri-City trying to get on the board here in the 5th. The 0-1 high, 1 ball and 1 strike to Hare. I'd love to see Hallmark run again, though. That was the fastest I think we've seen anyone run at Bosse Field all year long.
I'd love to see a top stopwatch of his first to third there. That was impressive.
Whew. Midland, Texas native. 1-1 is swung on and driven high in the air to right. It is foul. We've had a couple balls out on Heidelbach this evening. Look out. 1-2 count with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Hallmark is at 3rd, Culver at 2nd. Gossman looking for the final strike of the inning to tire the side. Kicks and throws, swing and a miss by Hare. Did he get a piece of it? Hare says he did, and home plate umpire Robert Davis says no, you didn't. And Tri-City's frustrating night with the umpires continues. Hare is pleading his case to home plate umpire Robert Davis. He's asking for help from the other umpires, but Gossman and the Otters are walking off the field.
That's going to bring Pete Incaviglia out for his 3rd time talking to these umpires tonight. He hasn't been super pleased with some of these decisions they've made.
And after more conversations, continued noise, and now Hare slams down the bat in frustration, and the third base umpire, Thomas Incaviglia, is taking him off. The Otters fans are enjoying it, and the inning is over. Pete Incaviglia is getting more and more heated. Moving to the bottom of the 5th inning. We'll be right back. 3-0 lead for the Otters over Tri-City on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Leading off for the Evansville Otters, the shortstop.
Welcome back to Bosse Field, where tensions are riding high, especially with Tri-City and the umpires. You look at the manager for Tri-City, Pete Incaviglia. He's had a frustrating night tonight, but he is an incredible story. Made his MLB debut in 1986 without playing a single minor league game. There's a long story about that, and he's one of the best college baseball players of all time. So we start the bottom of the 5th inning. George Khalil leading off. 3-0 lead for Evansville over Tri-City. Incaviglia had a lengthy conversation with home plate Robert Davis, but I want ejected at least. Khalil pops one up right side. Catch is made by Bierman in foul territory. 1 away. So 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th. They'll roll over to the top of the order and Myers, but I mean, Pete Incaviglia, an absolute legend. He was actually voted at the end of the century the best college baseball player of the 20th century.
Yeah, and that's incredible. I mean, the ability to go into the MLB without playing a minor league game is almost unheard of. It is unheard of in the modern game.
Noah Myers takes the first pitch inside. And it was very interesting circumstances about him not playing in the minors. He was drafted after an incredible career at Oklahoma State. Here comes the 1-0 to Myers outside, 2-0. incredible career at Oklahoma State. He hit 100 home runs in 3 seasons with 48 home runs in a season. That's in a 72 games played, 48 home runs. As Myers swings, drives one to left. Over to his left is the left fielder Pat Adams to make a line drive catch. 2 away. She has this incredible college career, holds the single season record for most home runs in a season with 48. He had, this feels like it can't be right, he had 143 RBIs in a season in a 72 games played. That's the single season record for RBIs. Ethan Skinder is the new batter, swings and misses at a ball in the dirt 0-1. And his 100 home runs overall in just 3 seasons, the record for most home runs in a collegiate career. And most people say all those records are unbreakable. So he does all that. He's drafted by the Montreal Expos. So comes the 0-1 to Skinder. It's outside 1-1. Drafted by the Expos, and the Expos asked him to go straight to the majors. And Skinder swings and pops one up right side and out of play. He wanted to go straight to the majors. That's what he asked. Left school early. The Expos said no, so he got traded to the Rangers before he had played anything with the Expos, and then started his professional career in 1986 with the Rangers. And it actually created a rule called the Incaviglia rule that continued from 1986 all the way to 2015, that as an MLB team, you could not trade a player until they completed a full year with the club. Skinder swings, drives one up the middle, a ground ball base hit up the middle. Skinder with a 2-out knock.
Yeah, we've talked about Carson McCusker putting up some video game-like numbers, but I mean, those college numbers from Pete Incaviglia are just unbelievable, and here in 2023 brings another Oklahoma State Cowboy to his Frontier League ball club, who's having similar success in the indie ball level.
Pretty incredible story. And then 2015, that Incaviglia rule changed. Dakota Phillips, the batter, takes outside for a ball. As they changed the rule, so now after the World Series, you can then trade a player. But you have to wait until after the World Series instead of waiting a full year. So he's got a rule named after him. He's one of the greatest collegiate baseball players of all time with incredible numbers. And now his 3rd year as the manager for the ValleyCats. Brian steps off, checks over at first. Skinder back in safely.
I don't know if that's a good goal to have in sports, to have a rule named after you in the organization of whatever sport you played in. Sometimes it's in a positive manner, sometimes negative, though.
Swing and a miss by Phillips, 1-1. No, that's true, and I guess you could argue it's in a negative way for Incaviglia, but could also argue it's a rule that did good for both teams and players after, and he helped it come into effect as Phillips takes side 2-1. Certainly a great offensive player, and he's helped a great offensive team. The ValleyCats were terrific offensively last year, but fell short of the playoff. Phillips swings, drives one down the right field line. It's past McCusker and rolling to the wall. Skinder is held at 3rd, but it's a double for Phillips, and the Otters looking for some insurance here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
What a piece of hitting there by Phillips. Goes down and gets one of those breaking balls that have been fairly effective from Garrison Bryant, really low in the zone, and drives it down the line. And extra bases for Dakota Phillips, who's been struggling a little bit as of late.
Phillips with a double is his 1st hit of the series. Skinder to 3rd. Brian resetting himself on the mound. He's only at 70 pitches here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Tri-City bullpen is still quiet.
Yeah, finished that last inning with just 6 pitches, and then he got 2 outs here with 5 pitches, and he looked like he was going to work another really efficient inning.
First pitch to Jeffrey Baez, swung on, driven to left, back is Adams, it is gone! His second of the game, Jeffrey Baez all alone in the top of the Frontier League home run charts, his 9th of the season.
Yeah, a slow trot around the bases, and Jeffrey Baez, you earned that. Another 5 RBI night for the Otters right fielder. That's 10 RBIs in this 3-game series, and boy is he hot at the plate right now.
In fuego from Jeffrey Baez, my goodness, and that ball was decimated. First pitch to Kono Quiggle, swing and a miss. He hit his first home run, 415. Did not get a tracker on the distance of this past one, but it was even more obliterated as Quiggle takes low 1-1. Parks took one step back and left and said, yeah, I'm not getting that one. 1-1 to Quiggle outside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, both home runs out there. He didn't even make a full effort to run to the wall and track the ball. It was so far gone.
Quiggle fouls one away, 2-2. It's the 3rd time this season Baez has had a multi-homer game. How about that?
And 3 home runs and 2 triples in this series. I mean, that'll do wonders for your slugging percentage.
The multi-home run game at New Jersey back on May 23rd. Also did it at home against Trois-Rivières on May 19th. Quiggle takes strike 3 called at the knees for the 3rd out of the inning. Not before Jeffrey Baez does it again. A 3-run blast, this time soaring over the left field wall, and Tri-City could only watch. His 9th home run of the season. He sits alone atop the Frontier League home run charts, and it's a 6-0 lead for the Otters after 5 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Did not win. Thanks, guys, for playing. Thank you, Jersey Mike's. And the only way to top the seven is with real red and white vinegar, made from Red Creek's and food coloring. And the only way to get it even for Donald is at Jersey Mike's, because as Donald would say, it's authentic ingredients make the seven above. Now located at 939 North Clark Road in Evansville. Go Donald.
Time for some shout-outs. Happy birthday to Kathy Case. Kathy Case is here celebrating a birthday. Happy 40th birthday to Eric Gibbons. His family is here with him to celebrate. Happy 40th to Eric, the big 4-0. Ross Adams is here celebrating his 12th birthday. Happy birthday to Ross. Great to have you with us. Someone else also turning 12. Happy Lucas Bakey. Happy 12th birthday to Lucas. And don't forget, gift shop Otterston Team Store has blankets and hoodies if you're wanting to think ahead for those cold winter months coming up in December, January, and February. Otterston Team Store.
Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports is brought to you by Old National Bank. Your bank for Evansville, your bank for life. Life is good right now here at Bosse Field if you're an Evansville Otters fan, and especially Jeffrey Baez, who it's his 2nd home run of the game, his 3rd of the series, a 3-run blast to extend the Otters' lead to 6-0. 3-run home run in the bottom of the 5th inning. This crowd is electric right now as the sun sets here in the River City. Carson McCusker will lead things off for the ValleyCats here in the top of the 6th. McCusker takes a first pitch outside for a ball. With what Baez has done, if he can keep it up this weekend, he's got to be looking at filling McCusker's title next week for Frontier League Player of the Year. Or Frontier League, well, calm down on Frontier League Player of the Year. For Frontier League Player of the Week, which was the current man at the plate, Carson McCusker, last week. 2-0 to McCusker is low 3-0.
Yeah, it's been a cool duo of offensive firepower on both sides of the diamond to watch here this series. Lots of sparks at the plate from those two, both McCusker and Baez.
Two triples and 2 home runs as McCusker takes low for ball 4. Second walk to McCusker, both on 4 pitches. Gossman again just looking like he would rather avoid the dangerous hitter. So I'll bring up Zach Bierman with the leadoff runner aboard. 88 pitches for Gossman, and with that walk, it's leading to movement in the Otters' pen as some blue jerseys are standing up and walking on over to start getting loose. Gossman's first pitch misses inside to Bierman.
Yeah, he's had a few walks, but also got to look at 8 strikeouts tonight for Austin Gossman, and that's easily his highest of the year. He had a couple games where he had 5, just 16 overall, and throws half of that total here tonight against Tri-City.
Lines and throws, Bierman swings and grounds one up the middle. Diving is Skinder and can't get there into center field. Skinder sacrificed his whole body to try to find the baseball, but out of his reach. A base hit for Bierman, and the ValleyCats in business in the 6th with 2 runners aboard and nobody out.
Bosse Field is in fact a smoke-free facility, and the policy includes
Aaron Alter, the center fielder of the plate, with 2 on and nobody out, but Gossman with plenty of run support here in the 6th. All on home runs. 5 runs, 5 RBIs again by Jeffrey Baez for the second day in this series. Alter swings and misses 0-1. So Baez's stat line right now, he has 3 home runs on the series and 2 triples. And that's all by going 0 for 4 yesterday. Leone De La Cruz, the lefty, is starting to warm in the Otters' pen. The 0-1 outside, bounces away from Phillips and rolls all the way to the dirt in front of the Tri-City dugout, and both runners advance. Pass ball on Phillips, McCusker to third, and Bierman to second. Lights coming on, and about 60% effect right now as Alter takes high 2-1. Six to nothing, the Otters lead here in the top of the 6th inning. 2-run home run by Baez, solo home run by Meyer, 3-run home run by Baez. The 2-1 is low, 3-1. This for Baez too, a guy that's 29 years old. He turns 30 in October. He's a veteran in this league. Realistically, the ship has probably sailed on playing an affiliated ball again. And he's playing right now for the love of the game. Comes the 3-1 to Alter, swings and hammers one down the left field line, but foul, and a full count.
Yeah, and he's a guy you can just tell has a lot of fun out there playing. You see him point to some of the fans in the crowd that he's gotten to know over his years. Every time he rounds first base when he hits a home run, he's a guy that hustles so much in the outfield. He has that deceptive speed with his bigger frame and really has done it all, and he looks like he just has a great time doing it, especially here at Bosse Field.
Payoff to Arthur, swung on and driven into center. Quiggle over to his left, under it, and makes the catch. Tagging from third is McCusker. He scores without a throw. The ValleyCats are on the board with a run here in the top of the sixth. Bierman stays put at second, one away. Otters will take the out. Jacob Goldfarb, the catcher, will face Gossman. And Max Peterson is out to have a quick word with Gossman here with one out and one on in the top of the sixth. Gossman, his last pitch was his 100. He's at a clean 100 pitches right now. De La Cruz warming in the pen, and that's going to do it for Austin Gossman, but a really good performance tonight, and he's going to hear the applause from the Bosse Field crowd. Coming to Tri-City, just one run through 5 1/3 for Austin Gossman. 100 pitches, strikes out 6, just 3 walks, and 5 hits. The lefty Leone De La Cruz into the ballgame on the top of the 6th with 1 out. You're listening to Evansville Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network and watching on Flow Sports.
Otters call to the bullpen. Number 29, Leone De La Cruz in to pitch. The battery, De La Cruz is on the mound. Green behind the plate. The pitcher-catcher battery is powered by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North River Road, or give them a call 812-475-9000 and tell them Zane from the Otters sent you. Isn't that right, Nolan? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Bosse Field is a smoke-free facility. The policy includes electronic cigarettes. There are designated smoking areas outside the ballpark for both real and electronic cigarettes.
Back at Bosse Field, Leone De La Cruz, the southpaw on the mound for the Otters with a runner at second and 1 out in the top of the 6th. De La Cruz's 10th appearance of the season for the Otters. Winds and throws and hits Jacob Goldfarb. A slider that never got close enough to the plate and plunked Goldfarb on the back. There's runners at first and second with 1 out.
Yeah, and Max Peterson, a pitching coach who loves to work the matchups, and with 3 lefties to round out this Tri-City lineup, they pull Austin Gossman after a really, really strong performance. 8 strikeouts on the night for him, and they opt to go with Leone De La Cruz to finish out the 6th here.
Brings up Juan Montes to pinch hit here for Pat Adams, who was 0 for 2 on the day. So it's like Montes will take the spot of Adams in center as well. Montes didn't play yesterday, but was 0 for 1, 0 for 2 on Tuesday with a walk. And 217 on the year. Righty batter. First pitch from De La Cruz is inside, bounces away from Phillips, picks it up, throws down to third. Tag is on, he's out. Bierman thrown out at third base. Phillips bobbled it, dropped it, it rolled between his legs. Both runners took out. And a great throw down to third by Green after bobbling it and throwing out Bierman at third base. So that's the second out of the inning. Goldfarb goes to second. It's now a 1-0 count to Montez with 2 outs and a runner at second. And De La Cruz's slider misses way inside. What a catch by Green. He catches it and then props himself up and does a little push-up to get back up.
Yeah, one of those few guys in the Otters roster that we always say will give you 110%. And how about a full body extension to keep that ball from going to the backstop?
That's right after throwing out a runner. 2-0 to Montez is another slider inside 3-0. De La Cruz has only allowed 2 runs on the season. Came in 1 outing against Windy City last week. 2.25 ERA in his 9 appearances. Allowed just 5 hits, 17 strikeouts to 5 walks. Behind Montez, though, 3-0. The pitch is low for ball 4. So De La Cruz has hit a batter and walked a batter to start things here in the top of the 6th. And Jake Green is walking out to have a word with Leone De La Cruz. Jomar Reyes is coming on over from third base to help translate. It's Dominican De La Cruz and Jomar Reyes, also from the Dominican Republic. Just a quick word. A bump of the gloves between De La Cruz and Green. Two outs and now 2 on with Pavin Parks, the lefty shortstop, coming to the plate. A run across here for Tri-City, but the Otters still leading 6-1. Lefty on lefty matchup again for De La Cruz. Southpaw on the far left side of the rubber. Peeks back at second and steps off. De La Cruz with some of the nastiest stuff on the Otters roster, but controlling especially his slider can be difficult at times. With all the dipping and darting it does. A lot of dancing by the Tri-City runners as De La Cruz comes home with a beautiful front door slider on the outside corner for a strike. Parks is 0 for 2 today. De La Cruz winds and throws a slider outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, really his only struggle this year has been his command. He's been so dominant at times, and his stuff is certainly that of a professional, maybe even a Major League Baseball player, but he's just had a few performances where he's had to go really deep into counts and walk some players, as we're seeing here.
Comes the 1-1. It's low, bouncing away from Green and off the netting behind home plate and into the dugout for Tri-City. Goldfarb is running all the way around to home, and plate umpire Robert Davis says, out of play, stay at third, calm down. Now it's runners at second and third with 2 outs, and certainly been a wild start for De La Cruz on the mound, who stamps on the dirt in some frustration. He was really good looking at Joliet last weekend in his last appearances. Struck out the side on Friday and worked a clean inning with a strikeout on Sunday. Comes the 2-1, a slider inside for ball 3. A few things go wrong here for the Otters, and this game could get quite tight again. 6-1 lead with an empty base at first, and the top of the order coming up for Tri-City. De La Cruz at the belt. Looking in. Winds and throws. Slider in for a strike. Beautiful pitch and a full count. Payoff pitch coming. A kick and a throw. Swing and a miss by Parks. De La Cruz makes things a little bit messy, but he gets out of it with his nasty slider, and Tri-City gets just one in the top of the sixth. The 6-1 lead for the Otters on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
For a little inspiration, everyone check out the Heritage board, and you'll find one of our favorite Odeon camera operators doing his favorite dance. Now time for the Drake's Dance Camp. So just like Giles Smith, we need everybody to get up and dance because Drake's is your go-to for 24 beers on tap, big burgers and the freshest sushi in all of Evansville. Visit Drake's at 1222 Herschel Road or drakesplay.com. Now let's dance. We're dancing for Giles Smith and Austin Andrew Christian Kavanaugh Hernandez. Select beautiful Bosse Field is ready for your next celebration. Look, one of our Grand Slam picnics and you and your guests will receive an exclusive honor special edition hats. If you'd like to be a part of an upcoming Evansville Otters home game, it's simple at EvansvilleOtters.com or call our front office at 812-435-8686. Tonight's attendance, 4,540. 4540. Thank you for your support and attendance of Evansville Otters baseball. 4,540 strong here at the ballpark. One final shout out. Happy birthday to Jerry Mayer, turning 72 today. Final shout out. Happy 72nd birthday to Jerry Mayer.
Back at Bosse Field for the bottom of the sixth inning. 6-1 lead for the Otters over the ValleyCats. Juan Montes is now in left field after a pinch hit for Pat Adams, just taking his spot out in left. So the change for Pete Incaviglia and Tri-City. Jomar Reyes takes a first pitch strike to lead off the bottom of the sixth. Brian winds and throws, and Reyes fouls it straight back 0-2. Brian still working here into the sixth inning at 76 pitches, but after allowing 9 runs against Empire State, he's allowed 6 today. 0-2 is a high chopper third base side. Staying back is Hallmark to glove it. Throw across the diamond is scooped off the dirt by Bierman, and he keeps his foot on the bag for the first out of the inning. Nice play from Hallmark and Bierman.
Yeah, second really good scoop we've seen from Bierman in this game, and Hallmark's fielded his position so well there over at third.
One away, it brings up the DH Jacob Olsen. Otters leading 6-1 tonight in front of a fantastic crowd. Olsen shows bunt and pulls it back. 4,540 in attendance tonight on the Thursday night. Kick and a throw. Olsen takes a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. This is the largest crowd of the season for the Otters, hitting the opening day crowd by about 400 folks. Comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. And it's only Thursday. We've got all weekend.
Yeah, try to keep breaking that record, and I think we'll at least come close to matching it a few times later in the week here.
The second biggest crowd as well that the Otters have played in front of all year. They played in front of 5,700 last Friday at Joliet. Princess Night brought out the folks in Chicagoland. 1-2 is outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Olsen.
And there's no better time to come to Bosse Field. If you look at the matchups they have here, the Schaumburg Boomers, just a half game back from the Otters, and then they play Gateway twice, who leads the West Division.
Olsen takes low, full count.
And then in between those two Gateway series, you face Sussex County, who has been pretty dominant atop of a fairly even East Division. I mean, just some really, really good matchups, some high-level baseball coming to Bosse Field.
3-2, Olsen swings and grounds one hard, but right at the shortstop Parks. Little bobble, picks it back up, throws to first in time. 2 away. Hey, your next 4 opponents are all well over 500. 2 of the 3 in first place, and the other, Schaumburg, the most successful team in the Frontier League in terms of championships, and the team that took down the Otters in the playoffs last year. And it looks like the day is going to be done for Garrison Bryant at 85 pitches and 5 2/3. Pete Incaviglia is limbering out in the mound, and he's going to the bullpen. Brack Warren, the righty from Montana, coming into the ball game for Tri-City. So we'll briefly step aside with 2 outs and nobody on here on the bottom of the 6th, a 6-1 lead for the Otters over the ValleyCats on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Tri-City called the bullpen 35. Warren into pitch. Warren is on the mound. Roll call behind the plate. That's found by the Inter-Auto Repair East. Find your battery to the Inter-Auto Repair East. 2319 North Freedom Road. 481-24759,000. Tell them, sing from the Otters, sing you.
Back at Bosse Field as the ValleyCats go into the bullpen for the first time today. Brack Warren into the ball game to pitch for Pete Incaviglia and co, native of Rosebud, Missouri, off to a great start on his year. 7 appearances, a 1.69 ERA, and 10 2/3. He's allowed just 2 earned runs, 17 strikeouts in those 10 innings, and just 4 walks for Warren. Second-year rookie in his second year with the ValleyCats. Try to get the last out of the 6th and keep this a 5-run ball game. Darkness has descended here on Evansville. Lights are into full effect. Jake Green is the batter with 2 outs and nobody on. Green takes the first pitch, strike at the knees.
That's right. Warren pitched collegiately with Oregon in the Pac-12, was a key asset to their bullpen there, and then drafted by the Giants.
0-1, look out, it hits Green right up on the shoulder, and he is in some pain and just runs down to first base to try to run it out. Now he's not even grimacing. I think Jake Green is the toughest guy on the Otters.
And that's one way to respond to a hit by pitch, is just sprint down to first base as fast as you can. Makes you completely forget about the pain.
Green has been hit by 6 pitches on the year. 6 pitches. It's only behind Viola in the Otters, and Viola leads the Frontier League with being hit 7 times. George Khalil, the batter, takes outside. Green's had a few games he's been hit multiple times and been frustrated, but he's so tough and willing to take one for the team. They just build them a little bit differently down in Texas, don't they?
I think so.
1-0 is inside, 2-0 to Khalil. And when you play 4 years, 5 years in an NAIA school and out in West Texas at Wayland Baptist University in Plainview, that'll toughen you up. Right? He took 10 hit pitches with the Pioneers this past season. He now has 6 already here in Evansville as Khalil takes the strike, 2-1. Here's the 2-1. It's inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. All the Otters runs scored on home runs tonight. 2-run home run by Baez in the first. Solo blast right down the line by Myers. And a 3-run home run again by Baez in the 5th inning. 9 home runs on the season for Baez. He leads the Frontier League. 3-1 to the Australian is inside, nearly hit him. Yes, it did hit him, in fact. It would have been ball 4 anyways, but it nipped him right on the edge of the jersey. Far less painful than Green's, but back-to-back hit batters by Warren to start his outing.
Yeah, and I'll take that hit by pitch that George Khalil got any day over the one that smoked Jake Green and ran up around his shoulder. Looked like it was gonna head up towards his face, but that one just grazes the jersey of George Khalil.
Pulls over to the top of the order, and Noah Myers, who takes slow. 2 on and 2 out here in the 6th. Evansville, a few more runs could put this ball game away and put this series away. 1-0 pitch is outside, 2-0. Warren kicks and throws, and Myers sprays it foul, 2-1.
The red double brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
Here comes the 2-1. It's inside, 3-1. This is not what the ValleyCats and Warren were looking for. Coming 2 outs, nobody on. He's walked 2 batters, or he's hit 2 batters, and now fallen behind Myers. Potentially make this a messy 6th. The 3-1 is inside for ball 4.
That's it to your head. Sidewalk, cafe and bar.
Green at third, Khalil at second, Myers at first, and Brooks Carey, the pitching coach for Tri-City, out to have a word with the former Oregon Duck.
Yeah, no one up in the bullpen to potentially come in and relieve Warren, so it looks like they're going to rely on him to, at very least, close out this 6th inning. He's got 2 outs to work with, but the command just has not been there at all, and you got to wonder if maybe they were hoping they just left Garrison Bryant in. He got those first 2 outs pretty quickly, just a pair of ground balls to the left side of the infield.
Bring up Ethan Skinder with the bases juiced. He's 1 for 3 today with a hit in the first and came around to score on the Baez home run. We're also monitoring proceedings up in Schaumburg right now, where they have a no-hitter on the Yoles through 7. First pitch to Skinder is high. Well, thought it was high, but it's called a strike right at the letters. 1-0. Warren winds and throws. It's low, 2-0. Warren on the right side of the rubber comes home. High, 2 balls and 1 strike. A hit busts things open. The 2-1 inside and nearly hits Skinder. It's 3-1, and Warren's got no one to put him.
And the Bosse Field crowd looking to continue to get in the head of Warren as they get very loud here with the bases loaded and 3 balls.
Pitch, swing, and a miss. Skinder chased a fastball up. Full count to Ethan Skinder. Warren winds and throws. Skinder swings and misses. Big strikeout for Warren and Tri-City. The Otters strand the bases loaded for the 3rd time this series. 5-run lead for the Otters through 6 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Who wants a t-shirt? You need to get on your feet, stand, and make some noise. Let me hear you. It's time for a t-shirt. Make some noise. You can get it beer snake here at the ballpark on Budweiser Thirsty Thursday, and there's still time. Alcohol sales in at the end of the eighth inning. Nice beer snake. Real quick, there's the beer snake right there on our division. Great taking you with us here at Bosse Field.
Welcome back to Bosse Field. It's a 6-1 lead for the Otters over the Tri-City ValleyCats. And oh my goodness, if you're watching on Flow Sports, we have a massive beer snake going on in the crowd. This is cups on cups on cups of beer. That's impressive.
Yeah, looking to rival some of the beer snakes you'll see in the outfield bleachers at Wrigley Field.
Jackson Hallmark takes outside 1-0. Leone De La Cruz out for his first full inning of work. He got into some trouble in the sixth coming in for Gossman. Hit a batter and walk one, but got a strikeout to end things as Hallmark takes a strike 1-1. So what is the, you don't drink out of a beer snake though, do you?
I think the objective is just to make it as long as you can, long enough to where at least one person cannot hold all of it.
1-1 outside, 2-1. But so it doesn't fall apart.
That's right. I've seen a few almost in some outfield bleachers at MLB parks, almost go all the way up and down the entire row of stands.
2-1 by De La Cruz is high, 3-1. But it has to be a cup that had beer in it, I guess. Otherwise, so they're still adding to it. They're getting more cups. This woman is hard at work. She's got the Yadier Molina jersey on. Takes a strike, 3-2. She's got the hardest working catcher in the 21st century of baseball. Lucas does not agree. You got to respect, though. Yadier Molina jersey, and she's hard at work on a Thursday night at a ball game. Hallmark takes ball 4 outside. The Reds fan in Lucas does not believe Yadier Molina is the hardest working catcher of the 21st century. She's into it, though. She's climbing the stands. She's looking for more beer cups that have been finished. She's got to hurry, though, because alcohol sales stop after the 7th. Cito Culver is the new batter. He takes inside.
And with a crowd of about 4,500 and a thirsty Thursday night, I would think as long as she's still seeking cups, she's going to continue to find them.
Is this the night to do it? Comes the 1-0 to Culver. It's on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Hey, we don't have any beer cups up here, but she's willing to come on the broadcast. I'd be curious to hear from her and how she's building this beer snake. What's the tactics, strategy, and philosophy behind it? The 1-1 to Culver is swung on and driven into center. Coming in is Quiggle and making a running grab. Racing back to second is Hallmark, and he is out. Hallmark went on the pitch and didn't really stop until Quiggle had caught it on a running grab. The speediest player maybe on either roster, but he couldn't make it back in time on the throw. Hallmark doubled up, and just like that, 2 away.
And the second time we've seen Kona Quiggle turn a double play out there in center field this year. The other time he dove for a ball in front of him and got up and made the throw, and this time Hallmark was just pretty lackadaisically standing on second base when that ball was caught.
Trey Hare is the batter, takes the first pitch inside. 2 outs and now nobody on here in the top of the 7th inning. They're still working on the beer snake. How many cups do you think are there, Lucas? 1-0 is a front door slider for a strike, 1-1.
I'll give it a guess of around 40 or 50. I mean, it's got 2 or 3 people holding it at this point.
It's going a good couple rows, maybe 2 or 3 rows. I was going to go for more than that. I was thinking maybe 70s or 80s. It's the 1-1 to Hare, outside. 2-1. I bet there's a Guinness World Record for world's longest beer snake.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up.
The 2-1 is outside 3-1 to Hare. I don't think we're going to set it tonight. But it's a valiant effort nonetheless, and it's certainly the longest of the season here at Bosse Field. 3-1 to Hare. De La Cruz winds and throws. Hare swings and misses in a full count. Another nasty slider from Leone De La Cruz at 91 miles per hour. Payoff pitch coming to Hare. Here it comes. Swung on and popped up left side. Reyes giving chase in foul territory and won't get there. Rolls into the Tri-City bullpen.
So the longest, or what is thought to be the longest beer snake ever, was at a cricket match in Australia that had a 2-hour rain delay. And they made one that was believed to be somewhere between 100 and 175 meters long.
Oh my goodness. I wouldn't have guessed the Australians. Comes the payoff. Swung on and popped up into left center. Quiggle drifting over under it and makes the grab for the third out of the inning. It's time to stretch at Bosse Field. A 6-1 lead for the Otters over the ValleyCats on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Look up to the press box. This is Austin. This is his final game as an OBN producer. So Austin, we're going to sing together. Here we go. Call the bullpen for Tri-City. This is 18, Elliott Carney. In to pitch the battery. Carney's on the mound. Both are behind the plate. That's powered by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find your batteries at the Answer Auto Repair East.
Back at Bosse Field for the bottom of the 7th inning. It's a 6-1 lead for the Otters over the ValleyCats in front of a season record crowd of 4,500 fans. Elliott Carney is the new pitcher in for the ValleyCats. Worked the 7th inning, making his 6th appearance of the season for Carney, 1.50 ERA. 6 innings pitched and has allowed just 1 run and 3 hits as Dakota Phillips leads things off and takes the first pitch ball from Carney. The 1-0 to Phillips is inside 2-0. Lucas did not like, as a Reds fan, me calling Yadier Molina the hardest working and arguably best catcher of the 21st century in Major League Baseball. I guess Bleacher Report does disagree with me. 2-0 is inside 3-0. Is that Bleacher Report?
It is.
They're going with Buster Posey at number 1.
The longevity of Yadier Molina was a bit more impressive than Buster Posey.
The longevity of this beer snake is really impressive, though. She's still at it in the Yadier Molina jersey. Still going. Phillips grounds it foul. 3-1.
I would argue probably my favorite and the best catcher of the 21st century to be Mike Piazza. But then Griffin said that was a little before his time of watching baseball.
I mean, he was getting old by the time I was 5 or 6 years old, making people feel old as Phillips swings, drives one to right, McCusker back and makes the catch one away. Posey, in terms of the championships, obviously won 3 with the Giants. Yachty, I believe it was 2 with the Cardinals, so maybe where you had him beat. All eyes, though, right now on Jeffrey Baez. He gets quite the applause as he comes to the plate here with 1 out, and he's going to go for his 3rd home run in the game to try to tie an Otters single-season record. First pitch to Baez, swung on and popped up to left, high in the air. It is playable. Coming in is the left fielder Montez, and he makes the catch, 2 away. Oh, the crowd wanted the 3rd home run. Baez pops one up. First time he's been retired today.
Yeah, loud out there by Baez. He was certainly swinging for it, and he got a ball that looked like he could drive, but just gets under it by quite a bit.
2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the 7th inning. I'll say my favorite catcher of the 21st century was Jason Barrett. Quiggle takes inside 1-0. That was growing up, watching Red Sox baseball growing up and following the Red Sox. Terrific batter, terrific leader. Great guy behind the plate as well. 1-0 to Quiggle. He's inside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, best catcher of all time. Who are you going with there?
That's a tough question. That was a 2-0 to Quiggle. It's at the knees for a strike, 2-1. See, it's honestly hard for me. I don't know the way my brain works. You start thinking of all-time greats, and sometimes I can't even think of their positions because I didn't watch them play, I guess. The 2-1 is low, 3-1. Like I don't know if Lou Gehrig is an infielder or an outfielder. Three-one to Quiggle. It's inside for ball 4. Quiggle works a 2-out walk. 6-1 lead for the Otters here on the bottom of the 7th. Runner aboard with 2 outs. Do you have someone off the top of your head?
I would have to say Johnny Bench. He caught in a big red machine. He was incredible, both defense and offense. So
it's hard to argue with that. Jomar Reyes at the plate with 1 on and 2 outs. Reyes fouls the first pitch back. A 1 swung on up the middle. 1 hop to the second baseman. Harry steps on the second base bag in time for the 3rd out of the inning. Otters go scoreless in the 7th. 6-1 lead for Evansville over Tri-City on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Making progress with help from some of their nearby friends that beer snake on a Budweiser Thirsty Thursday. Call the bullpen. John Beamer. Hitting to pitch.
Back at Bosse Field, Evansville has a 6-1 lead over Tri-City, and we want to remind you that Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is brought to you by Bud Light. There's plenty of beer drinking tonight. The beer snake, we just look in every half inning, continues to grow and grow. Fans are flocking and bringing 4 or 5 more cups to join in, and it's becoming a party with the beer snake. John Beamer is the new pitcher here in the top of the 8th for Evansville. Trying to hold a 5-run lead. First pitch inside to Carson McCusker for a ball.
Just one good thing about a beer snake is it really limits your cleanup time.
Yeah, the 1-0 is fouled away. 1-1. I didn't think of that. That's gonna help out the hardworking cleaners after the game here at Bosse Field. Beamer making his 9th appearance of the season. .71 ERA. McCusker takes outside, 2-1. Beamer actually a 1.26 ERA, 10th appearance. Has allowed just 2 earned runs on the season as McCusker fouls one away, 2-2. They might someone might take it home though. They just what do you do now? You have this beer snake of dozens and dozens of cups. You go and leave it out on, maybe they go and leave it out on home plate after everyone circles the bases. 2-2 to McCusker. Outside corner, strike 3 called. Beamer paints it, 1 away.
I think that woman who's worked so hard on it should take it home, put it in her backyard, and just let it be there as just an iconic memorabilia from Bosse Field.
It'd be a great memory, a great story. Anyone comes over and they, what is this huge tower of cups? And Zach Bierman's the batter, takes low for a ball, 1-0. She'll talk about June 8th, 2023 for the rest of her life, the night she built one of the longest beer snakes in the 108-year history of Bosse Field. I mean, this thing is ginormous now. It's in for a strike, 1-1 to Bierman. I feel kind of bad for the fans, though, that just have to sit there and hold it. People are getting selfies. This is, I guess it's Instagram worthy at this point. 1 to Bierman. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
You've got a handful of fellow fans around her that look like they're just absolutely drinking with the intent of adding more cups at the moment.
It's one way to have a drinking game. The 2-1 to Bierman is sliced off the end of the bat in his foot. 2-2. Six-1 lead for the Otters here in the top of the 8th inning. 2 in the first on a 2-run home run by Baez. 1 in the third on a solo home run by Myers, and 3 in the 5th on a 3-run home run by Baez. Just 1 for the ValleyCats in the 6th. Bierman swings and pops one up into right. Baez going back at the edge of the track. Makes the catch, 2 away. Bierman has a 2-hit day today, but flies out here on the 8th. Nonetheless, makes his return to Bosse and has an excellent week. He'll finish, if he doesn't get another at bat, 5 hits on the series. It's got to feel good for Zach Bierman, and he'll get to see his Otters former teammates again in Albany in July. Aaron Alther is the batter. He takes a first pitch strike. 2 outs, nobody on in the top of the 8th. 1 at the knees, 0-2. I think the process of building the beer snake is fans are starting to feel that now. The 0-2, outside corner, strike 3 called. 1 inning for John Beamer. 2 strikeouts looking, 1-2-3 8th, and a 6-1 lead for Evansville over Tri-City on the Otters Digital Network.
Easy Pizza.
From the bullpen, 36-man Dunaway into pitch. Battery Dunaway on the mound. Profar behind the plate. The answer auto repair East 2319 North from Baroda. Given the calling 12475 9000. Tell them Zane from the Otters sent you. I want to wish a happy 13th birthday to Cheyenne Smith. Cheyenne Smith is here celebrating birthday number 13. Happy birthday, Cheyenne. And also happy birthday to Phyllis Bosse. That's on the count of 3. Wish Phyllis Bosse a big happy birthday. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to Phyllis Bosse.
Welcome back to Bosse Field, where the Otters lead the ValleyCats 6-1. Otters have 3 home runs. That's all their runs. And Austin Gossman in line for his 3rd win of the season. They'll need just 3 more outs, but first looking for some insurance here in the bottom of the 8th. Bottom 3 in the lineup, Olsen, Green, and Khalil due up. New pitcher in for Tri-City. He winds and throws a first pitch strike to Jacob Olsen. I think something's happening to the beer snake, which is causing the commotion in the crowd. We're not at a good angle to see. It's the 0-1. Swung on, chopped, right side, gloved by the first baseman, Bierman. He'll step on the bag. 1 away. Daunhauer, Matt Daunhauer is the pitcher, native of Hawaii, making his 3rd appearance of the season. Just 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, 2 strikeouts. The beer snake getting too long for its own good. Is it falling apart? Mrs. Molina has been incredibly hard at work tonight. Just Green swings and misses 0-1. Signaling for more stacks of cups to join and halting people and organizing. An incredible job to build a beer snake. 0-1 to Green. Here's a strike, 0-2. Evan the Otters even coming over to try to help with the beer snake. Is Evan of age? Well, Evan the Otter is taking selfies with the beer snake. That is definitely Instagram worthy. His jersey has got a few too many unbuttoned for me. 0-2 to Green, 2 away. Someone told it. I guess Evan decided to get in on the Thirsty Thursday festivities himself.
It was quite the different vibe when I was in the Evan the Otter costume around a bunch of little kids. It appears our beer snake is broken.
Yeah, it is broken into 2 snakes. It's impossibly long maybe at this point. I don't know if they're going to be able to stand it up if they want to be like a Jenga. Khalil swings, drives one into right. Back is McCusker making the catch at the warning track. And that's the 3rd out of the inning. A quick bottom of the 8th. Last chance for the ValleyCats. In the top of the 9th inning, they lead 6-1 on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Once again, 3 piles of dirt, 1 holy moly. Where is he now? He's at 3. He's at 2. And now he's in 1. Everybody keep your eye on 1 as we spin him around. Where's he going to be tonight, everybody? 1, 2, or 3. That's a 2. There he is. 2. All right. Good job, everybody. Thank you for playing in the Holy Moly Shuffle. It's brought to you by Indian 811, a free service that can prevent costly damages done to their utilities. Now, us below, call 811 or visit 811now.com. At least 2 full working days for every digging project, no matter how large or how small.
So some Frontier League news tonight. The Schaumburg Boomers throwing a no-hitter against against Florence, 2-0 that final. FrontRealLeague.com for more information on that after the game. On the bullpen, Jake Polancic into the pitch. The battery Polancic is on the mound. And Green behind the plate. The answer Albert Bear East, 2319 North River Road, or 812-475-9000. Tell them same from the others to you.
Welcome back to Bosse Field, a 6-1 lead for the Otters over the ValleyCats. Evansville needs 3 more outs, and they're going to trust Jake Polancic, their closer, to do so. 8th appearance for Polancic, a 2.08 ERA for the Canadian closer. It's not a safe situation here, a 5-run lead, but Polancic, who hasn't gotten a lot of work lately, just 3 appearances over the last 10 games, will get some work here as his first pitch to Jacob Goldfarb sails outside for a ball. Polancic in 9 innings pitched has allowed just 2 runs and has 4 saves. Goldfarb swings, grounds one down the right field line and foul. Polancic just got some great news as well the other day. He was named to the Canadian Pan Am Games qualifying roster for Canada. And he's actually going to head down this weekend down to Florida to train with the rest of his teammates as Goldfarb swings and misses 1 and 2. And they're going to play next week all the way down in Buenos Aires, Argentina, to try to qualify for the Pan Am Games in 2020 or later in 2023 in October, which will be played in Santiago, Chile. 1-2. Outside 2 and 2.
Well, that should be a fantastic experience and a chance for Polancic to see some new areas of the world, and we certainly wish him all the best as he heads down there.
Comes the 2-2. It is inside and hits Goldfarb, who puts his hands up in the air in frustration. Gives a little look over to Polancic. Oh, Goldfarb has been, that's back-to-back times he's been hit, so just a little bit ticked off. Leadoff runner is hit. Brings up Juan Montes as the beer snake is still going in the stands, by the way, but it's become too long to hold and is now lying down on some seats, but intact. I don't think they're going to be able to pick it up and bring it home. She could bring 2 snakes home with some help as Montes takes the first pitch strike.
Yeah, it would certainly take a lot of coordination and some generosity by the ushers to be able to get that out of the stadium.
Well, you're not allowed to bring any alcohol out of the stadium, too, so they got to make sure there's no beer left in the beer snake. 0-1 is popped up right side. Chasing over is Phillips, and it's off the top of the grandstands. Polancic, I haven't gotten official word, but no, he's leaving this weekend, so likely his last appearance for a couple weeks, and it means the Otters will need a new closer, as much as they're delighted to have Polancic making his first ever appearance for the Canadian national team. It'll be a great baseball experience, you'd imagine, as well. As the 0-2 to Montes, swing and a miss for out number 1. See what Evansville decides to do, closing-wise. Kevin Davis started the season as the setup man, but has struggled a little bit his last couple outings, so that'll be a curious spot for Max Peterson to choose when Polancic is not here over the next couple weeks, and he has to make a choice. 2 more outs needed for Jake Polancic and the Otters. Baben Parks, the shortstop, is the batter. 1 on and 1 out. First pitch to Parks, swing and a miss, 0-1. 93 miles per hour from the native of Langley, British Columbia, just outside of Vancouver. That, in my humble opinion, is one of the most beautiful cities in the world in the summer. You been to Vancouver?
I have not.
0-1, fouled straight back 0-2.
I have heard great things about the city. I have only been to Toronto and Canada, so.
Absolutely spectacular. The bodies of water, the forests around it, the trees. You can see the world's longest suspension bridge is in North Vancouver in the forest. Incredible city. Imagine a great place to grow up. The 0-2 outside 1-2 to Parks.
We did end up having a combined no-hitter thrown by the Schaumburg Boomers tonight in a 2-0 win over the Florence Yalls.
Comes the 1-2 to Parks, breaking ball outside 2-2. In our Frontier League broadcaster group chat, the excellent voice of the Boomers, Tim Calder, wrote a message after 6 and said, I'm probably going to jinx it, but maybe that was the reverse jinx. And that he sent out that there was a no-hitter ongoing, and then it actually happens. First no-hitter of the year in the Frontier League. 2-2 to Parks. Inside for ball 3, the full count.
Their starting pitcher, Jackson Hickert, went 7 innings deep. He had 99 pitches at that point, so they did pull him out. But Frias and Stutzman were able to finish the job, and a red-hot Schaumburg Boomer pitching staff coming into Bosse Field now.
Comes the payoff, swing and a miss by Parks. 94 on the gun from the Canadian, and the Otters are an out away. So Schaumburg throws the no-hitter. They salvage a win in that series, and they now come in quite high spirits into Bosse Field this weekend for a big series between two of the top teams in the Frontier League West in their first matchup since meeting in the wild card game last year. Last chance for Tri-City is Jackson Hallmark. He takes the first pitch strike. 6-1 lead for the Otters. 2 outs in the top of the 9th and a runner on. Polancic winds and throws, swung on and fouled straight back. 0-2.
I can't hear you, Otter fans. Make some noise.
Polancic kicks and throws, swing and a miss. The Otters win the series with a 6-1 win tonight over Tri-City. It was all about Jeffrey Baez tonight. He accounts for 5 of the 6 Otters runs, a 2-run home run in the first, and a 3-run home run in the 5th. Austin Gossman terrific with the win, and after really the most dismal performance of the season yesterday by the Otters, they bounced back in a big way today for their 5th series win of the year.
Yeah, certainly. Gossman, 7 strikeouts, his season high. A really good performance from him on the mound. And how about the long ball by the Otters today? 2 of them by Jeffrey Baez and 1 by Noah Myers. All 6 of those RBIs coming off the long ball, and in front of a really electric crowd. The Otters moved to 11-4 at home, 15-9 on the season. And what a time for Schaumburg to come into town, a really electric atmosphere, and you just feel like there's a lot of energy in this Otters ball club right now.
Absolutely. It helps when you play in a season best crowd of 4,540 tonight, and sets up for a big weekend series. Man, still listen to this crowd. Well, before we sign off tonight, I got to give a big thanks to Austin Hernandez, our outstanding director tonight here with the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Austin's directed the majority of our broadcasts this year. He was the head director last year when Matthew Will and Bill McEwen were on the air. And Austin has been nothing but an incredible director, an incredible person to work with. And he's off to Ball State to help direct with the Cardinals with ESPN Plus this coming year, which I know they do an amazing job up there. But we've been really lucky to work with Austin, and the reason we sound so good and the broadcast sounds so good is all because of Austin Hernandez.
Yes, certainly. We love working with Austin. He's done such an incredible job, brought a lot of experience to the table, and he's just been so fun to work with. And now he gets to go to one of the great universities here in his home state of Indiana, so we wish him certainly all the best, and we can't wait to see what he does there.
Absolutely. An incredible future ahead, and we're going to miss him dearly here at Bosse Field. They're bringing the beer snake out. Oh, my goodness. They have managed to carry the beer snake out of the ballpark. At least they're trying right now. We've got about, if you're listening on the radio, about 12 people carrying this beer snake. I don't know where they're going with it. Oh, no, there it goes. Well, it's split into two. The woman in the Yadier Molina jersey that's been leading it all is, she's still there. She's in the middle, so we hope she's taking it home. And they're taking it right out. The beer snake's coming out of the ballpark. I don't know if it's a nightcap at Kipley's or at Marina Point tonight with the beer snake or what, but this is impressive. They're taking it out of the ballpark, and we'll see if, with a record crowd tonight, if anyone could top the beer snake record tonight. You're right. It's good vibes tonight in Bosse Field.
Yeah, I'm sure if you ask these Otters players what a fun environment they had to play in front of tonight, and should have many more just like that in the coming days. We mentioned all the great series of really talented ball clubs coming to town, and what an exciting time here at Bosse Field.
So the final totals again tonight: 6 runs, 6 hits, and no errors for Evansville. 1 run, 5 hits, and 1 error for Tri-City. All scoring for Evansville done on home runs. 2-run home run by Baez, solo home run by Myers, 3-run home run by Baez. Garrison Bryant takes the loss for Tri-City. Austin Gossman earns his 3rd win of the season. He went 5 1/3, allowing 5 hits, 1 run, and 6 strikeouts. We'll be back tomorrow evening for a 3-game big weekend series between Schaumburg and Evansville. First pitch is at 6:35 Friday and Saturday, and Sunday a 5:05 first pitch. The final score again: Evansville 6, Tri-City 1 for our outstanding Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports crew, led by the outstanding Austin Hernandez. My color, Lucas Daunhauer. I'm Griffin Epstein, wishing you a great rest of your night, and so long from the River City as Evansville wins 6-1 on Flow Sports and the Evansville Otters Digital Network.